Hello, welcome to episode 82 of Your Ultimate Comeback. I'm Brad, here with my co-host Raquel. How are you?
Good.
Sweet.
Yep. New spot.
New spot?
New
Let's
spot.
find out
Who
new
dis?
spot.
New spot. Who dis?
Yeah, testing it out, testing the waters.
Yeah.
Today, I wanted to talk a little more about peptides. So Raquel and I have recently gone through the whole Loop Way process where we had our blood work done, submitted to Loop, they ran it through their AI, and then we had our meetings with the educators and got our peptide plans. And I want to just kind of go over what they told us. And, obviously I've been doing peptides for a while. You're about 3 weeks into the ones they recommended to you. But I thought we'd just kind of share what our experience has been so far, good and bad. Because let's be real, peptides aren't the magic, every peptide is not a magical answer. Some are going to make people feel great. Some people are going to feel anything. Some people, they're not going to like them. So this is going to be an open, honest conversation of our experiences so far, what we're using. I did also go through each one we're going to use. I cannot remember all the information on these things because there's thousands of them. So what I did was I took each one that we're using and I did a breakdown of them, of what they are and the benefits they may provide to kind of share with everyone so they know what we're talking about. All right, so I want to start with you because you're new to this.
Yes, very.
So if you want, what peptides did they recommend for you?
BPC-157 and Tesamorelin.
Okay, sweet. Let's start with BPC-157. This is a one that a lot of people have heard of. It's really getting a lot of hype over the last couple of years. I actually first learned about it 20 years ago from Charles Poliquin, and he said, this is going to be revolutionary, and he was completely right. I believe it was created, this one I know for sure was created in the early 90s. A doctor out of Croatia found it. It comes from gastric juice. So I'm just going to give you a little breakdown of what BPC-157 is and potential benefits. So BPC-157, it's actually body protection compound 157. It's a synthetic peptide derived from a protective protein found in the stomach. It's composed of 15 amino acids, and it's stable in the human body via injection or taken orally. So this is actually a peptide that you don't have to inject if you don't want to. You can actually take it orally. Potential benefits: accelerates healing of soft tissues, muscles, tendons, ligaments, promotes gut health by healing the intestinal lining for things like leaky gut, IBS, Crohn's support. It may reduce inflammation and pain, especially in joints and injury sites. It enhances blood flow and angiogenesis, which is formation of new blood vessels. It may support neuroprotection and help regenerate damaged nerves. What it can be used for: injury recovery, gut healing, post-surgical repair, tendinitis, joint tissues, things like that. What's been your experience so far with BPC-157?
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
What have you noticed?
I have my shoulders, as you know, have been kind of cranky. And by cranky, I mean there was no trauma that all of a sudden, oh gosh, it's just as I've gotten older, I've definitely noticed that my range of motion has diminished, and then I feel pain when I try and increase that range of motion. So that was one that you suggested too, long before we started talking about Loop. And I would say I definitely can already tell a difference 3 weeks in.
I can't see you because I train you every week. I really noticed.
You can tell how I feel.
Well, no, I can tell that your shoulders aren't bothering you as much because you don't complain about them. You haven't really complained about them in the last 2 workouts. I'm complaining about other things now.
Oh,
yeah, but we're used to that.
Yeah, exactly. You are. We, like you and my husband. So
you haven't complained about them?
Yeah.
And your range of motion and chest pressing, especially as we got the incline, the overheads, you just naturally are moving the bar farther, which shows, especially yesterday when we were doing the incline press, your range of motion was drastically better. And with the same weight as we were doing with, we didn't have to warm up as much. Yeah. So I could really see it with that.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Because I'm feeling it, but it's is that really happening? And it's one of those things.
Yeah, I knew that was the one I was really excited for you to get on because I thought with just knowing how cranky your shoulders were getting, it was taking a lot more warm-ups. We weren't able to progress weight very much. Your range of motion was getting really limited.
Right.
So I was excited to see that one, and I like what I'm seeing with that one.
And that one's easy. I mean, it's 10 units.
Yeah.
And that one's been painless for me. I haven't had any issues with injection on that at all. It's super easy. I never feel it going in. And I'm very sensitive, as you know.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways.
As I know, as our viewers know.
Yes, that's correct. But I mean, I am super in tune with things with my body, and when things feel a little different or off, it's what's that? But that one has been great, I have to say. Just no problem. I would say that that one I felt comfortable with almost immediately. Yeah. For sure.
Perfect. Yeah. very rare that someone has
Yeah.
any weird responses to that.
And you've had a lot of people on it, right?
I've had a lot of people on it.
That
over
was
the
one that
years.
Stephanie had been on first, right?
Yeah. Anytime any one of my clients is like experiencing an injury, outside of my professional athletes, they're not allowed to use this stuff, which is a bummer because it's
really
so good.
is.
But anytime one of my clients is dealing with an injury, I always recommend BPC 157. It just accelerates healing so fast.
Right.
Anytime someone has really cranky joints, when joints become an issue and inhibit working out, I recommend it. I've been playing with this one for a long time. It actually came up on my my blood work and my AI analysis of my blood work as one that would be beneficial to me, which I know. I do it 8 weeks on, 4 weeks off, pretty much all year long. I have like a lot of problems at the bottom of my feet, and that's what solved it. Like nothing was solving it. Chiropractic work, tissue work, everything. It's something with the bones of my feet. And like I got to a point where I could only wear like those super high cushioning. I don't know if you saw the Asics I started wearing. My Jordans, like anything that was flat soled or hard, it was like excruciating to walk on. But the BPC negates that, takes it away. Yeah, so I've just found it's so beneficial to me because I'm on my feet so much.
Right.
To just routinely be on it.
Yeah.
I'm super comfortable with it.
So you do, I'm sorry, 8 weeks on, 2 off.
What I do with it is I go 8 weeks on, 4 weeks off, 8 weeks on, 4 weeks off, because I like to be on it. My clients that are going through injury. Oh, I will tell you, when I had shingles, I actually did it twice a day, every day for a month. I went on a very high dose to help get all the systemic inflammation.
Right.
So I did that, and one called Thymus Alpha 1, which is an immune enhancer that has some viral properties to it and stuff. I used those two aggressively to really attack the shingles and help me recover from that.
Do you feel like that helped?
Yeah, it's interesting. I didn't do the antiviral that you should do, and my timeline, by what I read, was exactly the same.
Are you totally done now?
I mean, there's still some markings left, but no more pain, no more sensations, no more kind of random shots of pain anymore. But you can still see some of the markings where they were.
I wonder if anything will scar.
I don't know. Mine was super aggressive, according to the doctor that I saw.
I'm sure, because I've talked to a couple people that have had it, and they said it was bad, but I think you win the prize.
When I showed the doctor, it's like, oh, damn. I'm like, what? He's like, you got it good.
Yeah. Go big or go home, Brad.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about your second one. Tesamorelin.
Yes, sir.
Or actually, you could have told him that.
Yeah, that's all right.
What's been your experience with that one?
That one has not been as easy for me to, it's a bigger injection. And by bigger, I don't mean bigger needle. I just mean it's 20 units instead of the 10.
Yeah.
That one I kind of feel going in, which isn't one of the ones that was marked spicy. But I just think for me, I'm kind of, and not bad, not anything like, oh my God, but just, I feel that.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. And that one has just, I feel like, okay, this is the end of, what did I just say? Week 3, right?
Yes.
End of week 3. So 5 days on, 2 day off protocol. And I'm really going to assess at 8 weeks, I think.
Yeah.
And really, but it's what I have noticed right away is increased resting heart rate, according to Oura Ring. Sometimes a longer sleep latency takes me longer to fall asleep. In the very first time I did it, my heart was racing, I felt like. But I think that was the first injection I'd done.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh.
Well, there's nerves there,
Totally.
stress.
It's different.
Okay?
It's a weird.
It's super common for people to have, the first time they do it, it's very uncomfortable.
Yeah. So, and not uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable, like, oh my God,
Yes,
what am I,
exactly.
I'm injecting myself with something.
Yes.
It's got this stigma around.
Absolutely. Drug users. That's what
like,
or
this isn't good.
Steroids Yeah. So, I've noticed that. I've been tracking it, and, it's kind of peaked a little bit, and then it started to go back down. And then when I teach a class or attend a class that is later in the evening, and if it's a heated class like I teach, I notice it kind of has a response that way too.
Yeah.
And it doesn't freak me out so much, but I did have, I had a little bruise, I had a little bump, but I'm getting used to how to inject properly. Like you don't go boink, but you have to go at an angle, things like that. You're not trying to get your muscle. So it's that's why you go in your fat area. So it's just kind of been most of it's been user error for sure. Really, just trying to figure it out, and I don't know. So I've been chatting with ChatGPT a lot. We're bros.
Yeah,
we are bros.
It's a good thing.
Yeah.
So I want to just share a little bit about what Tesamorelin is, potential benefits of it. So Tesamorelin is a synthetic analog of growth hormone releasing hormone. They call it GHRH. It stimulates your pituitary gland to produce and release more of your natural growth hormone, which then increases IGF-1, a powerful growth promoting and fat burning hormone. Some of the potential benefits: it reduces visceral fat. That's one thing I like about Tesamorelin, is it actually is FDA approved to reduce visceral adipose tissue, especially with AIDS patients. One of the medications something that can create like really hard fat in the belly, and this has actually been FDA approved for that specific purpose. The reduction improves metabolic markers such as triglycerides and insulin sensitivity. It improves body composition. It preserves muscle while dieting, which is ideal for fat loss and longevity. It may enhance physical performance and training adaptations. Yeah, again, it increases the IGF-1 levels. It also can support cognitive function, possibly. Preliminary studies suggest Tesamorelin may help with cognitive clarity and memory, and especially in individuals with elevated visceral fat. It may have a neuroprotective effect via IGF-1 and reduced inflammation. It enhances recovery and repair. It improves lipid profile and metabolic health, so it may reduce triglycerides, improve HDL-LDL balance, and enhance insulin sensitivity, especially those with metabolic dysfunction. Now, I want to share with the listeners the elevated heart rate thing, because I know in the beginning you were a little nervous about that.
Well, if these are people that listen to the podcast all the time, they know what a Fruit Loop I am, right?
You're not a Fruit Loop.
Well, kind of.
You watch a lot of data. You know your body very well.
Right,
You're very sensitive to change.
So
I'd much rather deal with someone like that than someone's like, do you feel anything? I don't know. Do you feel that lift? I don't know. Is anything working? I don't know. Are you sleeping any better? I don't know. What's your resting heart rate? I don't know.
Well, but sometimes too much information is bad for me.
That's the one thing that I struggle with this day and age, is there's access to so much information. It's overwhelming.
Yeah. But I just, it's the resting heart rate thing. I'm used to where my heart rate tracks when I'm teaching these classes, and it's definitely been a lot higher while I'm teaching. Like, wow, okay. Were there a couple times I was breathless? I'm like, wow, okay. So that kind of gets my attention. But, the Oura Ring is a blessing and a curse, in my opinion. I mean, I love it, but at the same time, it's like, when it's flagging something, I want to say, I need to have a conversation, let you know what's really going on.
Yeah. I have certain athletes that wear that stuff, but a couple days out from competition, I make them take it off because it messes with their head. They wake up like, oh shit, I didn't recover well. Oh, I'm going to suck today. My stress level's elevated. It really can mess with people. So like I have certain athletes, like we wear it when we're training, but as soon as a couple days from competition, they take it off. They're not allowed to look at it, not allowed to track it. They just need to go in thinking, I'm better than ever. I feel great.
Well, one thing I will say is even with the elevated heart rate for me and the sleep latency longer for me, I haven't been waking up feeling wasted. I still, and I thought, ooh, is that like what those people do that have these crappy readings and they're still pushing through? Or do I really feel okay?
Yeah.
And I think it's the latter. I think I really do feel okay. I'm really good at trying to listen to my body and not do extra things and all that, because when it's telling me to chill, I'm going to chill. But it's really lost my train of thought. So the cognitive benefits have not kicked in yet. Just that didn't freak me out that much, I guess. But it's just worth noting. I did make a little chart just to see.
Well, I just want to share, like, there are potential benefits to that.
Yeah, of course.
So there's potential benefits to slightly resting elevated heart rate from Tesamorelin. Here's what they are. Could potentially be an increased basal metabolic rate. So mild elevation of resting heart rate often reflects an increase in metabolic activity. One of the big reasons someone wants to take Tesamorelin is to target belly fat. Tesamorelin boosts growth hormone and IGF-1, both of which elevate energy expenditure, leading to enhanced fat burning, particularly visceral fat. The shift in metabolism support body recomposition goals. Improves mitochondrial activity. GH signaling increases mitochondrial biogenesis and activity. The body may respond by slightly increasing heart rate to supply tissues with more oxygen, nutrients during this metabolic upregulated state. There's enhanced recovery and anabolism. That can cause a little bit of elevated resting heart rate. So there's a lot of potential positives that are coming from the elevation in heart rate, specifically with the goals that people are on and are looking for. So the majority of people, if they were a track like you're tracking, would see this.
Yeah.
Because it's a sign that in regards to going after the body composition, the body fat, it's doing it. Yeah. So there are potential benefits to it. Now, if it gets too high, like I think it recommended, like if it starts to get above 85 routinely,
I would definitely be worried.
Yeah, then we got some bigger issues you got to look at. But yours is like what? Kind of bumps us like 62 to 65, up to 72 at one day?
I think 62 is kind of more of where I normally am.
Oh, so now
I
it's like
think
64.
It's been 65, maybe 67, kind of, but then back and forth. Yeah, one day it was 72, one day it was 71. Those were just two isolated events. So, it's not crazy, but it's just noteworthy, I guess.
Yeah,
is what I would say.
Yeah, and people have taken Tesamorelin, like it's not a fast response. Some people will start the BPC 157, and it's like, oh my gosh, and in a matter of days, like, I feel this working. Tesamorelin is kind of a slow. It's right. I've taken it before. I did it 8 weeks, and at the 6-week mark, that's when I was like, oh damn, this is really working. I could like look in the mirror and see like, oh wow.
That was your point.
Yeah, so I really noticed at that point. So it's not like you're not going to take it in the first 2 or 3 weeks, but like, holy shit, this is amazing.
Well, there's a bit of a placebo effect probably in all of these, I would think.
Yeah, probably 100%.
And I thought, I mean, my hypercritical eye is like, oh, is my little back fat going away now? That's kind of how I have been.
And one thing I wish we would have done, I tell people, measure your waist at your belly button, because it's going after the visceral fat in the stomach that causes that abdominal distension. Yeah. So it's hard to see visibly that change, but if you have the measurements, you can really see. So if you're doing something like Tesamorelin, AOD 9604 to go after belly fat, take a measurement to see, because it's really hard to see change.
Now, how would this, how the CJC is similar, correct? It's in the same category.
Well, so CJC-1295 and ipamorelin is another growth hormone product.
Right.
But
Tagonist, isn't that the word? Tagonist?
I don't know. Can't remember the exact.
Okay.
But what a CJC and ipamorelin does is ipamorelin creates the body to produce more of its natural growth hormone like Tesamorelin. The CJC-1295 increases the pulse rate of it, so it's pushing it out more often.
Oh, so you think I might be even higher, huh?
Well, I don't know. I don't know. I don't track my resting heart rate like you do, so when I was playing with all this stuff, I've never seen that because I haven't been watching that. CJC-1295, what I've noticed with people, it's either a home run or they're uncomfortable with it. Because it can really drastically create a lot of improvement in sleep, things like that. It's actually good for putting muscle mass on. I personally, am not the biggest fan of it. I didn't like how it makes me feel when I take it.
How did you?
Well, when I first tried it a long time ago, I was giving me a client or a friend gave me a product. He goes, dude, you got to try this. It's really good. And gave me the amount to take. And he gave me like the highest level they recommend to take. And I didn't know that. I took the first time, like elevated heart rate, headache, like, whoa. I was like, damn, that was crazy. Maybe I just need to get used to it. And then the second night I went to do it, and again, it was the high dose. Like, for example, I like people to start off around 100 micrograms. They start me at 600 micrograms. Oh, wow. So 6 times, like, it's like the very high end. Yeah. And I took it the next night, and same thing, heart rate elevated, flushed, and within like 10 minutes, massive headache. I was brushing my teeth, I remember, and I fell on my knees, like crazy back pains. I was like, what the hell? I thought, shit, I'm going to the ER. Like, what have I done to myself? I didn't really even know what it was. I was just like, a guy that I trust in peptides, like, oh, here's a new one, you got to try it. I went back and tried again at 100 micrograms, like way better. But I think I have some almost trauma. Like, I thought I was going to the ER.
Yeah.
So I still noticed like elevated heart rate. I'm just uncomfortable with it. Yeah. I didn't sleep well with it. We're supposed to sleep well with it. I think it was more of like I had a bad experience, so I'm kind of a little scared of it.
For sure.
Yeah. So, but like with Tesamorelin, no issues. Like that one was great for me. Like no elevated heart rate, none of that stuff with that one.
Yeah.
But so I think it was a little more correlated to that. And so,
well, like you said though, there's not a one-stop shop, right?
No. Yeah.
This is going to be good for you and you and you and you. You got to figure out, which is why going through that protocol of getting the blood work done and then having them give you suggestions, and you can also make another appointment, right? Online, virtual.
Follow through. That's what I like is that there's AI running your blood work against all the peptides. Yeah. So I told a lot of my clients like, hey, it told me one wasn't good for me. Yeah, it actually told me one. Actually, it was funny. It told me that the CJC-1295 wasn't good for me. That I shouldn't take that one at this point. I was like, how funny is that? I forgot about that. Yeah. But like what I've like BPC 157, I've not had one person have any funky reaction to it or weird feeling from it. So for me, I had. Were there any other ones that recommended for you, or are you just doing those two? Oh, NAD. Have you started?
And I haven't started because I wanted to stay with just 2.
I think that's smart. Yeah, I think less is more.
First of all, I feel like a human pincushion already, so it's like I don't know where else I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
But I mean, and I know you get used to it.
Yeah.
It's just that and the rotation, and I've been marking it on a little calendar where I inject that kind of thing. But there was another one that they suggested. What?
You and your data.
I like to have a lot of information. I like to write it down. I like to know where it is. Yes, you're right. A lot of data. Isn't my daughter like that though?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
We are. That's you probably a high. Your daughter's a high D in the world of this. I'm a high I.
Oh, okay.
So that's why
you need to explain to them what we're talking about.
Maybe we'll have a disc expert come on.
Yes.
Yeah. Like a high D is like very driven, very structured. You got to be careful what you tell them because they're going to do it exactly how you tell them to do it. Where the I is like, just make me emotionally charged and I will do it. I'm not going to track shit. I'm not going to manage anything. Like, there's not been a day in my life I've been able to do a whole like macro charting of what I've ate. I'll get like 2 meals in, like, shit, I can't do this. This is too much. Like, do I feel good? Do I not feel good? Yeah. So I'm very. We'll have an expert on disc.
The tracking for. Just to go, oh gosh, where was that last injection site? Oh, it was, my left side. It was I don't know.
I think I did my left side yesterday. I'm just going to do my right side today.
That's what I do.
No, that's what I
you
do.
do?
Yeah.
Oh,
I think,
like maybe.
If I remember right.
Yeah.
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 It is not bad. Like if you
do it in the same spot.
Yeah, the same area. So one that came up for me was one I never tried before. It's called Mott C. And I've read a lot about it, heard a lot about it. So it came up for me. My blood work and chemistry came back interesting. I've always had elevated LDL cholesterol levels. So you look at my blood chemistry, my LDL is high, my HDL is high and good, my triglycerides are super low, blood sugar is super low, A1C is super low. But an interesting one came, my insulin levels were also too low. Yeah, so the peptide educator basically targeted those and said, hey, look, we need to do some things to help bring your cholesterol levels down and support your blood sugar because your insulin levels are actually too low. And that can be from stress, it can be from not eating enough. A lot of things that I do, lifestyle-wise, can cause that. So Mott C came up as a good option for me. I'm like, yes, I want to try that. I've been reading a lot about it. So what that is, it's a mitochondrial optimizing peptide. And the potential benefits, it's a metabolic regulator. So potential benefits of this, it may improve insulin sensitivity and glucose metabolism, promotes fat loss and supports body recomposition, enhances exercise performance and endurance, it activates the AMPK pathway, which is involved in fat metabolism and mitochondrial biogenesis, protects against metabolic dysfunction, example, prediabetes, obesity. It may enhance longevity and resilience to stress. So, so it can be used for fat loss, metabolic health optimization, anti-aging, energy improvement, performance enhancement. So I started that 2 weeks ago, and holy shit, I love it.
Really?
My energy is so steady. Since I've started, I've not had to, quote unquote, rest my eyes coming home from work before I hang out with my son. I get through my whole day. I got great focus, great energy. I'm really enjoying it.
What about energy?
I haven't had a cup of coffee in the morning since I started. I still been having one energy drink a day. It's just kind of part of my routine. And I'm worried about the headaches if I come off that. But I'm not drinking it because oh shit, I feel horrible. I need energy. It's just okay, I got 12 clients today. I cannot go through a withdrawal headache, so I'll have one. So that's where I'm at with that. And I'm really excited to see the impact that it has on my blood chemistry. And then knowing what came out and all the kind of deep dives I've done in the peptide world, I also got on one called SS31. It's a newer one that people are just kind of starting to now hear about. It's another mitochondrial targeted peptide that stabilizes something called cardiolipin, a lipid in the inner mitochondrial membrane. So potential benefits of this: restores mitochondrial function, improves energy output, reduces oxidative stress, protects mitochondria from damage, shown to improve heart function, cognitive function, and muscle endurance in aging populations, may help in neurodegeneration diseases and age-related muscle decline, sarcopenia. It can enhance vision and may be protective in degenerative eye conditions. So use this one in mitochondrial repair cases, age-related fatigue, muscle preservation, chronic fatigue, and cardiovascular protection. Now, I just got this one. I've only done it 2 days.
Okay.
But I wanted to share that one because I'm really excited about that one, and I finally found it, was able to try it. And it's one that's going to become available soon. So I'm pretty excited about that one. But I threw that one in after seeing my blood chemistry and been reading about this one. I'm like, oh, that's going to be a perfect match.
So you're on
I'm on those two right now, and about to get back on the BPC because I'm about into my 4 weeks.
Okay. So you'll have you'll be doing 3.
I'll do 3. The max I do at any one time is 3. Because you got to know what's working and what's not. So I'm always on 2 or 3, never more. A lot of people get super excited. Next thing you know, they're taking like 8.
How can they do that?
I don't know. I have no idea. But it's like, okay, that's kind of, you don't know what's working, what's not.
Right. You want to be able to speak to it.
Yeah, so I kind of cycle my stuff 8 weeks at a time.
Okay.
So I go 8 weeks on something, take some time off, switch it up. Like the Mott C you do twice a week for a month. You do that 2 to 3 times a year.
Oh,
So the Mott C is not one you're on like for 8 weeks, and it's literally 2 to 3 times a year. You're taking pretty high doses of it twice a week, and then you're off it for a while.
Yeah, I think my next one is going to be the beauty one, the hair, skin, nails.
Yeah, the copper.
Yeah, I think so.
Copper
Although
GSQ,
I've
whatever
heard
it
that's
is.
very spicy, so I'm a little nervous about that. But other than that,
Yeah, I don't know much about it either.
Yeah.
I've heard that as well.
you haven't done it for your hair, skin, and nails.
Kind of pointless. My hair's, there's no chance.
You never know. Can you imagine? All of a sudden, Brad's like got Caesar's hair.
I got like sprouted spout. This is spots.
Can you imagine? Now that would be testimonial.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't have that much faith in it.
No, well,
But
you never know.
So that was just kind of it.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to share with you, we both went through the loop way process where you get your blood work done, you submit your blood work, AI then goes in and analyzes it and kicks out all the recommendations, what's good for you, what's bad for you, to help optimize your blood chemistry. And then you sit down with an educator that's well educated on peptides, and they're able to analyze everything that's kicked out and teach you how to implement everything. I love this process because of that.
Yeah.
It's hard to find.
Well, I can't imagine doing it without some help.
Yeah, and that's your kind of 2 options are go rogue and buy your own and try to figure it out, or go see like a concierge type of doctor that'll use these. It's super expensive. What I like about this is you're getting the best of both worlds. It's the product's more affordable. It's going to be more expensive than the rogue ones because you have no idea what they are, but you're getting super high quality product that's been tested, and you're getting strategy and structure around how to use them.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but I use AI a lot now, especially like nutrition design, things like that.
Right.
It's pretty damn spot on.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that it gets run through AI and kicks out all the information from there.
Yes.
And then someone with education on it goes in and makes sure that it's all legit.
Yeah.
Because, man, like, I'll be honest with you, from my nutritional, like when I'm running nutrition programs for people, I now use AI way better than what my brain can kick out.
Really?
And like that.
Boom.
Yeah, so then I just go through it and it's like, wow.
Yeah.
Like literally, like,
you just give them prompts and it.
Yeah, you gotta understand how to prompt it right.
Mm-hmm.
But I can prompt it and make it feel like you just went and visited the most knowledgeable person in the world for like nutrition, lifestyle, supplements, peptides, everything.
Right. Yeah.
So I really like that this system does that. But then there's a human that can go in and validate and make sure that it didn't go rogue or do something crazy.
Yes.
But yeah, sweet.
Cool. Well, we should talk about this again in several weeks.
Yeah, because I'm excited to do this and then rerun my blood chemistry, the panels that were struggling, and see what actually changed.
Yeah.
Because my LDL levels have been high since I was 16.
Well, I've been, my cholesterol's been high.
Yeah.
Forever too.
Yeah, nothing has ever brought them down at all. I know one of my members
What's
of
your
the weight
total?
room.
Do you know?
My total is 240.
Yeah, I think that's about where I am.
Yeah, my
220,
HDL was
something like that.
62, I think, or something like that. But one of the members of the weight room, her cholesterol levels came down 45 points.
Wow.
Yeah, from implementing her peptide strategy from
The
Loop Way.
one that
The same one we just went through.
Okay.
Yeah, so when I heard that, I got pretty excited.
Yeah.
That's a huge drop.
Yeah, that really is.
Yeah, and that's like statin drop, but not being on a statin.
Right,
So
right.
I'm excited to see like how this actually works because I like to use peptides from a longevity standpoint.
Yeah.
Yes, you can use them for performance. Yes, you can use them for body composition. Yes, you can use them for beauty. But what I'm most excited about is the longevity side of it. I think that's going to be super critical.
Well, that becomes more important as we age, doesn't it?
Yeah, 100%. And should probably say to end this that this is not, we're not giving any medical advice. We are just simply sharing our experiences with peptides. So just educating. By no means are we saying anybody should go do this or this will treat any type of thing. Right. It's purely just us sharing our personal experiences and hopefully educating you a little bit on the things that we are playing with. Part of the fun of what we do is trying new shit out and then sharing how it goes.
That's right.
Awesome. Anything else?
I don't think so.
Beauty.
We'll
sprinkle this back in. This is kind of the thing that you and I are both like highly involved in, testing, seeing how it works. Because I want to get it out to people if it's really as good as they say it is. And so far, I believe that it is.
We should let the viewers know that if they want to do the same.
Oh, yeah. We'll put a link in the show notes here to the Loop Way.
Yeah.
And I really suggest if you do this, go the Loop Way route and get the education. Have your blood work done, submit it. It is so worth sitting down with the educator to go over everything. You have a really clear understanding of what you're doing versus to try to figure this out on your own is scary. Because you're having to reconstitute things and make sure you're pulling the right amount of units to get the right ranges that they're telling us to take. It's pretty intimidating. I've been doing it for a long time. I'm still intimidated if I try to do it by myself. So I highly suggest that route so you stay safe and highly targeted and effective. Because the biggest thing is you want to make sure you're not taking one that is not meant for you, that could be dangerous for you, because they are out there.
Yeah.
Like, for example, one got flagged for me. And funny that now is the one that when I took it at a high dose, my body did not like it.
Yeah.
So I think it's really important that people do that. Awesome. Have a great week.